Hey everybody! Welcome to my E3 2016 wrap-up show. It has been quite a week. It's been like non-stop game coverage. It's insane how many new games are coming out. So of course, out of all the games that you've seen, you gotta do sort of a top 3 or top 5 games that you saw, right? Well, in no particular order for me, it's Dishonored 2, We Happy Few, Horizon Zero Dawn, Titanfall 2, and the new Legend of Zelda game. All of these games in some way had me just when I was watching them going, wow, they put a lot of work into this. It looks like a ton of fun. There's a lot to do. Yeah, I think all 5 of those games are definitely games that I'm going to be picking up when they come out. Of course, with every E3, there's always a good amount of CG trailers, and I sound like a broken record talking about this, but I hate CG trailers. They tell you nothing about the game. And it's almost like a throwaway, really. I get it should be a teaser, but I feel like a lot of times it does more harm than good for some of these games. You see a CG trailer and you're like, oh wow, for example, the new Quake game is coming out. But there's no gameplay, and everybody knows that Quake is all about gameplay. Now, they did announce a new Quake Champions, and the internet is on fire with Quake 1 fans who are completely upset that they're doing a Quake 3 arena style game as opposed to a Quake 1 flavored game. I can't say I disagree, but I am waiting to see what it's going to turn into. But with a game like this, why would you just release a CG trailer of characters shooting each other? We want to see the real thing. We want to see gameplay footage. So, hey, in August at QuakeCon, maybe we'll see more about it, but maybe by then, I don't know. Maybe it's too late. I do have a little list of CG trailers for games that I'm interested in, but I didn't want to showcase them in my pick trailers during the week. One would be the new Prey. They're sort of rebooting, remaking Prey. And I think the trailer looked very interesting, but there's nothing really there to talk about, in my opinion. There's a really quick CG teaser for a new Spider-Man game that looks like it could be good, because I believe that Insomniac is working on that, and Insomniac is pretty flawless with their games. Then you have Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, this showed a little bit of gameplay, but not enough to really, show you what the game is going to be like. And in all honesty, I actually had a trailer uploaded for this one, but YouTube kept blocking it, so I just said, forget it. Another one that was the exact same reason, and this one did have a gameplay trailer, was, I believe it's pronounced Fee. It was part of EA's Originals lineup. It's, I guess, their first EA original, sort of to be showcased with, the Yarny game, Unravel, that was announced last year. But both of those, I had trailers that I talked over. I had them uploaded, and they were both blocked. So I just said, forget it, I'm not going to bother with it. But those were 2 games that I'm interested to see more about, for sure. How about that Kojima trailer for Death Stranding? I'm still recovering from that. I don't know what to make of it. It's not really a game, it's more of a concept, it's more of an idea. I don't know where it's going, what it's going to become, but it's really, really interesting nonetheless. Another one is Resident Evil 7. Everybody likes Resident Evil, right? But it's been a little stale the past few iterations. 5 was just okay, and 6 was, I don't know, I didn't play it. But I heard from everybody, not so good. So 7, I'm interested to see more about it. It looks very much like the first Resident Evil game, where it's back in a mansion of some sort. And for anybody who's really interested, you're going to be able to play through the whole game in VR if you want to. Now, Sony also showed off a CG trailer for Detroit. This is from the company who brought us Indigo Prophecy and Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls and games of that nature. So I didn't really include it, even though I like those games, but a CG trailer, again, doesn't really do much for me. I want to see how the characters are interacting, how the story is unfolding. Now, of course, there are other games that seemed interesting, but I didn't do a pick for them, just based on certain gut reactions I had to them. So the first one that comes to mind for me was For Honor. Now, this game looked really interesting, but its main focus is melee combat, and what throws me off about that is the way the characters control with the slow movement and everything looks very reminiscent of a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne, a From Software game, and those are games that I personally am just not very into, so when I watched this, I love the epic battle, I love the look of it, but the combat just seems so slow. It just, I don't know, it's not for me. I also decided to not include the South Park segment from the Ubisoft conference because it was really awkward and strange, and for anybody who's already played the first South Park game, this is what the new game is basically going to be for. It's going to be for the people who played the original game, because there's a lot of references to it, and if you're a South Park fan, chances are you've played it already anyway, so... Now, Nintendo had demos for 2 games that I didn't include as well. One was Ever Oasis, and the other one was Paper Mario Color Splash, I believe it's called. Now, I didn't include these because both of them look promising, but I wasn't sure, at least in Paper Mario's sake, wasn't sure which Paper Mario this was trying to be. It seemed like it's trying to be the more recent Sticker Star style of Paper Mario, which isn't that great, as opposed to the original, GameCube and Nintendo 64 era of Paper Mario that was a little bit more fleshed out with characters and story and just fun anecdotes. As far as Ever Oasis, though, it looks promising, but there's so many little chibi RPG type games like that on the 3DS that I don't know. Do we really need another one of those? Now, I wanted to give a special mention to Recore because I feel like that game is going to be a lot of fun when it comes out. I could be wrong, but judging from the gameplay and everything, it looks like a good time. This was shown off during the Microsoft conference, and they also showed off Sea of Thieves. Now, I think this demo or this trailer is going to get the award for most annoying trailer they could have shown. Game looks fun. Game looks like a good time, but the trailer, oh my god, it's pretty grating to sit through. And while we're talking about Microsoft, why don't we go ahead and talk about a few other things that happened during the conference. One is the majority of their new games that are coming out that were supposed to be Xbox exclusive. Not that there's a whole lot of them, but they're all coming to PC as well, which is really strange. It's good for me, because I don't own an Xbox One, but I'm sure people who are Xbox One owners can't help but feel a little jaded at this point, because they're like, we're not really getting all these great exclusives, and now all the PC players are going to get the games that we were supposed to get. I understand that you buy a console, and the exclusives are important because I have a PC, and I game mainly, I would say, 80% on my PC. If a game comes to it, I say, forget it, I don't need that system. If you look at the PS4, there's at least a handful of games that I'm eventually going to get that system for. Now, you look at the Xbox, though, there's maybe 2, and then all the other ones that I wanted to play are going to be coming out to PC later this year or next year. So at this point, I don't understand why I would buy an Xbox One. And the weirdest thing about not knowing whether you should buy an Xbox One or not is the fact that they're going to have so many options for buying the console. Right now, they're trying to clearance out all of their old-size consoles because they have the new Xbox One S coming out for Slim. And that comes out in August. And it's going to replace the current version of the Xbox. You probably won't be able to buy the current Xbox anywhere after August. However, next year, at the end of 2017, it says holiday 2017, they have their new really powerful Scorpio console coming out too. So it's like, you got Microsoft, you got all these consoles. You got the regular Xbox One, you got the Xbox One S, you got the Scorpio coming out. But where are the games? I love the idea of everything being backwards compatible with each other. The whole idea was no one left behind. If you bought the first Xbox One, don't worry, this stuff is going to work with, upcoming games are still going to work with it type of thing. And I think that's great, but what games really? Is this just going to be relegated to sports games? I mean, you can buy Gears of War 4, but for me, I have no reason to buy the console because I can get Gears of War 4 on my PC. So, I don't know, that one's a little confusing to me. And though they're a little expensive, I did think it was really cool that Microsoft decided to let you customly create your own Xbox One controller and have it shipped to your house. So you can change all the colors on the controller. You could do a rainbow controller. You could do a Halloween black and orange controller. You could do a pure black with white tip control, whatever you want to do and have it shipped to your house. I think they're about $80, which is a little steep. But I guess it's not too much more expensive than what you would pay for one in the store. Now, Sony overall had a really good showing, but what I thought was weird is that they didn't announce the PS4 Slim. I guess they don't really have to because that console is selling gangbusters as it is anyway. But still a little strange because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would have liked a small increment upgrade for their console, and by small I mean, on the shelf. Now, the two things that they showed during the Sony conference that I thought were kind of weird was when they announced Crash Bandicoot. Wait, whoa. They didn't announce Crash Bandicoot. Let's just hold up there. They announced that the first 3 games are all being basically HDified, which, fine, it's cool or whatever. But he came out to say that, and that Crash is going to be in the new Skylanders game. And then that was it. No new game, no nothing. That was very, very odd, I thought. And then you had the Last Guardian trailer. Now, the Last Guardian trailer came up, and we all know that this game has been in development for, how long has it been? At least 10 years now? It's been in development hell. And there's been so many ups and downs with it, I'm not quite sure what to make of it anymore. They did do an actual demo of it last year, and it looked cool. It looked like an Eco or Shadow of the Colossus type of game with the way you control it. But I can't help but feel like this game just isn't going to be good when it's released because of all the turmoil related with it. But I guess we'll find out at the end of the year when it releases. Now, everybody thought that Nintendo was going to flounder this year because they weren't doing a live stream, they weren't doing anything much else than Zelda, but truth be told, all of Tuesdays was devoted to Zelda, which was cool because you got to see the new open world version of Zelda, which looks great. But then on Wednesday, they actually did a live stream and showed a lot of different games. Now, these aren't all Nintendo related, and they're not all games that I'm interested in, but it does go to show that, you know, they do have more under the Nintendo umbrella than just Zelda. Especially when they announced Box Boy, and now that's coming out at the end of the month. Anybody with a 3DS, I definitely recommend you pick that up day one because I know I will be. Well, there you go, everybody. That's my E3 2016 wrap-up show. I'm a little sad every time E3 ends, I gotta tell you. Like, I spend the week enjoying the conferences and making these trailers or videos or even just soaking up the culture, you know, the whole thing. I just love the whole time. And then when it comes to an end, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, it just, you know, it just feels like something dies inside. I don't know. But regardless if I'm dying inside or not, there will be more videos next week. Please, everybody, stay tuned. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought of E3 as a whole and what games you're looking forward to and maybe what games you absolutely think are going to be trash. You know, let's start some discussion on this, shall we? Until next time, everybody.